That just gets me pumped every single time. What is happening, Internet? Welcome back to another edition of Nomad, Frank from the Retro Wildlands, and Lindsay from LLCoolGames talking about the indie RPG sensation. We like this game a lot if you can't tell. Sea of Stars. What's happening, Lizzie? How you doing?
I'm good. I'm fresh off of a boss win here that I just got to finally beat. It took me 3 tries. So I am happy to sit and talk to you stuff for a while.
Yeah, we're finally in the end game. This is it. I think we've said this is it like the last 3 times we got together, but for realsies, this is it. So for those that are just joining us for the very first time or see this, well, if you see this in the future and this is the first time seeing this, you're out of order. You're at the end now. You got to go back to the beginning. But Lindsay and I have been getting together for
crazy.
Yes. We've been playing Sea of Stars, the indie RPG, start to finish together. And we've come together every Tuesday, mostly every Tuesday around 9 o'clock Eastern to talk about the game and just bounce things off each other, what we like, what we don't like. And when it comes to the story, kind of our thoughts up to the point of where we're both at. And it's been a fun discussion. It's been fun getting together every week because this is a game that, not to spoil my thoughts about the game as a whole, but it's very immersive, it's very fun, it's fun to talk to, and there's always something new I feel like we find when we play this game that we talk about. So I'm almost sad that this is it, to be honest with you.
No. At the same time though, oh my god, are we done yet?
I know, that's something. Yeah, that's something else we got to talk about. Like, I've never been so happy to have played a game, but I've also never been so happy that it's over. Which, what does that mean? Well, stay tuned and we'll explain. So we've got Sir and Lady Flaw Gaming up in the chat this evening. How's it going, you two? I think I remember them saying at one point that they just kind of prop us up in the evening and just listen to us talk as they're winding their days down, which is perfect. That's the best way.
Right?
It's good to have you here. So, all right. So here's how we're going to structure this particular show, our grand finale, as it were. So we're going to start off by giving kind of, well, since we're at the end, our final thoughts. What do we think about Sea of Stars? And we're going to kind of break it down just briefly, kind of review style. Our initial thoughts on the story, our thoughts on the gameplay, the presentation, kind of wrap it up. I'd love to give it a 1 out of 10 rating, 10 being the best, 1 being why'd we bother with this kind of a rating. And then lastly, ask the age-old question, who would we recommend this game to, if anybody? We're going to keep that discussion spoiler free as far as the story goes, because after we're done, after we give that final rating, I've got my Switch queued up off to the left here. You can't see it, but I can. And we're going to run through the final boss battle, the finale, and we're going to finish Sea of Stars with a bang. So if you're interested, you can certainly stick around for that. If you played the game before or you don't care about spoilers, great. If you want to play this game yourself, we would love for you to stick around, but no, don't.
Although we're just doing the first ending. Like, we're not going to blow everything out of the water and just then you're like, okay, now I don't have to play it. No, you totally do.
Yes. This is definitely going to be the first ending, as it were. There's two endings, and I've seen online people call it like the true ending or the alternate
Yeah,
ending or whatever you want to call it. And you've got to do a considerable amount of work to get the true ending. As Lindsay, you're in the midst of that right
I
now.
am.
How's that going?
Um, it's good because I am not an Ultima weapon person. I normally first things kind of blah. That's not encouraging me. Anyway, right, it's just the speed bump to get to the real ending. Um, yeah, like the motivation to do this stuff because I know there's a reward, like even more reward at the end. I've never done that. And right now I have all of their ultimate weapons, and that feels crazy. Like I'm like, yeah, let's go.
Right. Yeah, I will say I've done the true ending. I certainly won't spoil it here for anybody, and those in the chat, please don't spoil it for others if you could be so kind. But I will say, of all like the truest endings, or like you do all the work and get the final reward or whatever, I believe this one is the one that is most worthy of your time as a gamer, because
Wow.
it's not just, oh, the ending's different. There's different events that you can partake in leading up to this new ending. And I think for all the time you put into this game, all the trial and tribulation and everything like that, and you've got to go find 60 of these stupid seashells and a bunch of other side quests. It's the perfect completionist type of an ending to a game. Like, it's to a point where I love this game. Again, not to spoil my final thoughts, but I love this game, but I don't know if I'm ever going to play it again because I felt just
Yeah.
complete when this game was finished.
Yeah.
So, but we're gonna play that initial ending. If nothing else, it should give you incentive to want to finish the game the true time. Because while I'm kind of with 4 on 6, I wouldn't say it's kind of blah. But my initial thought was, no, this is definitely not how this game ends. There's more, and
Mm,
you'll know that even if you didn't know there was an alternate ending. Like, no, it can't end like this. It's kind of so. So, all right, let's get into this, Lindsay. Let's kind of try to summarize the last, what, 2.5 months we've been playing this
my
game.
gosh. Yeah.
Um, let's talk about the gameplay first. Um,
Okay.
really, this game, when it was pitched to me for the very first time, was a turn-based, retro-inspired role-playing game reminiscent of Chrono Trigger and Super Mario RPG. And I'd like to think that that's a pretty damn good description of what this game is for the most part. What are your surface level thoughts on just the gameplay in general? I mean, go nuts. We could probably talk about gameplay for 14
I
hours.
know, just gameplay. Um, I like how basic it is, and once you know what you're doing, you know what you're doing, right? Even because supposedly, right, that guy that I just beat is one of the hardest bosses in the game, but I didn't do anything different. I had to do it for 20 minutes. Holy crap, that fast. But I know what I'm doing, and I really feel like the way that the game sets you up for that, because they don't let you grind, because you kind of know that it is all required, but the things that I'm doing are for a purpose. There aren't, other than the stupid shells, there aren't fetch quests in this. There aren't just, oh, maybe, huh, I'll go. There's not filler. Um, other than maybe some of the maze walking around stuff in the stupid mushroom level, not my favorite. But for the most part, you're doing it with a purpose, and it's not wasted time. Um, yeah, and you're not getting different weapons that require different inputs, and you're not, oh, if I do this or these different, no. Like these are your dudes. This is how you push the buttons. That's how you play the game. And that makes it super accessible, I think.
Yeah.
Turn-based. I can sit and eat a snack while I'm playing this game. Thank you. That's all I want.
Yeah, I may have done that once or thrice myself, actually. But really, what stuck with me with what you just said right now was, it didn't feel like your time was wasted. it felt like everything had a purpose. I think there was like one side quest I thought was kind of weird, like, oh, this person wants to be painted, and I know a painter in this one town. Let's go
Yeah.
reunite them for a conch
I
shell.
just did that
Like,
this morning.
right. So it's like, yeah, there's a little kind of just odd stuff here and there, but no, even then, you still get a reward out of it. It all adds up to something great. And
Right.
yeah, my big thing now that I've turned 40 and I have perpetual back pain now, my time is extremely valuable, I feel like, and I'm tired of wasting it. Like, I've got better stuff to do. But I agree. I think Sea of Stars is really cognizant of the player's time, and if you're wasting time, like I try to do by level grinding, which the game really doesn't want you to do, I feel like you're going to be pretty well on track, I feel like. So overall, I think we can both agree the battle system was great. It wasn't
Yeah.
just timed button presses. There were other elements to it as well. The ability to boost your attacks, to do combo abilities with your party members after you raise a combo gauge, food that you can cook and use in battle that has different effects. Hell, even the cooking mechanic on its own is
I
fun.
love, yes.
Was there anything you did not like about the gameplay experience? I was kind of hard pressed to find anything.
I guess if we're talking specifically battle stuff, I almost feel like I have to be in the right mood to deal with the like unlockable weakness kind of stuff.
Ah,
If I'm not in the right headspace to do it, that's why I lost so many times, right? If you're not able to focus and know and plan your moves and be willing to swap characters in and out and be willing to take the time to build up the different gauges that you have, you're gonna have a bad time. Um, and so that might turn some people off. I know the only other game I've played with the same kind of like unlockable weakness thing is Octopath,
mm,
and they're so serious about it. I mean, I got to the point where there would be different types of bosses or whatever, and it's almost like old school, like 8-bit gaming, where you're like, well, I'm just going to learn his pattern because I know these locks are going to come up every time, and I can just learn bam, 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 unlock this, unlock this, unlock this. And then he's got whatever 7 turns before he's going to come back at me.
right.
Um, it's a little complicated until you get it. When you get it and you find that groove and that specific, you know, technique in a fight, then it's awesome and you feel really good about yourself. So, um, yeah, it's maybe not for like kids, but it's certainly an accessible game for any kind of gamer that's gonna take their time and give Sea of Stars the attention it deserves.
Yeah, that's well said. I don't think I could have said it better. Maybe in a deeper tone of voice, perhaps, but no, you're 100% right, and I was even going to bring up the accessibility portion of it. I don't know if it would
Yeah.
be super accessible to someone that's extremely young, but a lot of gamers, even gamers that are just RPG curious, this is a great starting point. It's not overly complicated. The stat system is pretty basic and bare bones, which is actually kind of a good thing. You don't have to worry about really stressing out about specking your characters one way or another. Like I in the beginning when I started leveling up, I would start to like stress myself out because you level up and then you can level up a specific stat. Like, do you
Yes.
add 2 more extra to attack or 2 more extra to defense? And like I'm thinking, crap, who's going to be my tank? Do I want Zale to be my offense and Valair to be magic, or vice versa? Like I was freaking out after a while, but then more than halfway through the game, it's like, nah, it really doesn't matter. Doesn't matter.
Yeah.
It's that simple for the most part. I mean,
Right.
it's it's a system that's there if you want to utilize it, and there's certain accessories that you can use to kind of tweak yourself in one area or another. But yeah, it really is accessible, and the different relics that you can collect,
Oh,
the
yeah.
which allows you to adjust certain areas of difficulty either in your favor or against yourself if you want more of a challenge. It's like you got accessibility options right out the get-go too. So if you
It's
want
true.
to, yeah, if you want an easier experience and just do the story, you can do that. Or if you're a sadomasochist and you just want to get your face smashed in constantly because you're that type of person, you can do
Yeah.
that too.
Some of those relics are wild. Like it's like I have never done this. Who are you? I only
Yeah,
played My health gets filled after every battle. Thank you very much. And I still had a hard time sometimes.
My favorite relic is the Artful Gambit. Your HP is minus 95%. Enemies
Yeah.
are invincible while they cast. Your time blocks reduce the damage to 1, so that's great if you can time your blocks. And then timed hits double damage. So it's like you got to be a timing ninja, but
Gosh. Maybe somebody offers me $1 million. Fine, I'll try. No.
nice. So I think we're pretty good on the gameplay. Let's talk briefly about the presentation of Sea of Stars, the visuals and the sounds and all that. I think in summary, if I were able to print out Sea of Stars and put it up on my wall somewhere, it would look wonderful. This game is gorgeous. Just
Yeah.
it's gorgeous. I mean, those of you watching, you can see behind us. This is the title screen that we've imposed behind our cameras here. You can see the kind of pixel retro art style. The entire game's like this, and one of the effects that I thought visually was the coolest is the real time lighting effects in this game.
Yeah.
Um, our characters, all of our characters, whether they're the Solstice Warriors or not, emanate like a light from themselves, and you can move your character around an object and watch the shadows move around. Like, what indie game puts that much detail into their game? Oh, I know, this one. Go Sabotage Studio. Seriously.
Well, and to that point, and they like threw it all the way as far as you can, right? With the fact that Valair can literally move the sun and moon, right? So the whole game has, you can't imagine, like every single environment has to have the full spectrum of all the lighting and shadows that's possible. It's that poor guy. Oh my God, now I gotta do this at night. Yeah, that's, you're right. Just the, even though it is right retro, it's so alive in the details that they put in that, right, I could just look at it forever. Yeah.
Yeah, it's exceptionally well done. I will say though, if I were to impart any sort of negative, sometimes the graphics are so good I couldn't tell where I needed to go sometimes, like if I could
Yeah.
grab a ledge or whatever. But in a modern world where it seems like every developer is just putting like yellow paint on all the interactable objects, I I absolutely appreciated this. Like I had to find my own way, but sometimes very few and far between it was to the detriment of progression, but that's a small gripe in the grand scheme of things.
Yeah. And they, I mean, even when you had, because there are multiple times you're in a desert, but the deserts don't look anything alike, right? There's multiple times you're like on a mountain kind. Um, and I don't think it was ever like kitschy or, like like they were trying. They weren't even trying to show off. It always felt so appropriate. Right. And maybe sometimes there are too many boobs. That's why I can't figure out where I'm supposed to go. Maybe I'm too busy watching the waterfalls, or especially
The
when there
birds
were
just flying around.
at one point where you're climbing like a cliff face and you
Yeah.
can see the castle in the background. Like, shut up. Like, why are you putting this in the game? Because you can, and because they loved it, and they knew what they were doing, obviously, from start to finish. So
Oh yeah, big time. And on top of that too, I thought the soundtrack was just spot on. The soundtrack for this game was by
yeah,
far one of my favorite that I've listened to in a very long time. And I am looking feverishly because I forgot the guy's name last time. Eric W. Brown. There we go. He was the one that composed the music for
Eric.
Sea of Stars. He had some help on some other tracks here and there, but Eric W. Brown, look him up on Spotify. The entire Sea of Stars soundtrack is up on Spotify. Even after you meet your pirate companions and you go into certain inns and areas, they'll do like pirate shanties of the music that's in the game. There's an entire album with just those pirate shanties. Like
Oh, that's hilarious. They
they went
knew. They
well,
knew.
oh yeah, absolutely. Like I think one of my this is a this is a shout out to you, Sea of Stars. One of my days at work, I listened to nothing but the pirate shanties all day, and I dare say I was probably the most productive I've ever been.
Freaking out. Favorite shanty music. Oh my gosh, that's
It, it
hilarious.
it was awesome, but no, the entire soundtrack is fantastic. Everything fits. Nothing. There's not a single track I was listening to that I was just like, ugh, this again.
Right?
Um,
Why are you doing this? Yeah,
right.
yeah.
And
I'm trying to think. Yeah, I don't know, because there's even like there's some bosses where it's like that really like creepy quiet music. So they never, at least where I am, which is pretty far, there's never been like super heavy overdone music, right?
yeah, yeah, it all absolutely fits. So I thought it was really really well done. And I will say, and I told you this offline, but I'll mention this again for those watching or checking us out later. The final battle music is by far the best music in this entire game. It's overshadowed by the generic boss music. Encounter Elite is what it's called on the soundtrack, which is fantastic. It's a great boss music, but the final battle, oh my god! If I worked out, that would be my weightlifting regime music right there. Like, so good, so good.
Wild.
So yeah, Sea of Stars has a fantastic presentation, and even before we move on, I'll mention too, just briefly, just even the sound effects were great. Like, how many times did you find yourself walking around the world and you're throwing out the hook shot item and just listening to it go tink tink tink? Like,
Yeah.
it all sounds
Yeah.
great. All right, so that's the presentation. So without any spoilers, because we're definitely going to get into spoilers later in this show, but without any spoilers when it comes to the story, what are your overall thoughts? Was this a story you found yourself really vested in? Did it take a while for you to get there, or was this kind of a forgettable experience? Where are you at right now?
Um, I felt like it started slow. They were little kids for too long. Was much too much buildup. But then once we got going, I was going, right? And I think they did just enough, like right hand turns, right? There were just enough story twists and just enough unexpected, and some were really unexpected. It would make me giddy because to have something, um, it's so surprising, especially in this day and age. Because I made this game, and I had all these little pieces and stuff, and I'm like, shoot, I just had it all over the internet. And unless you really go looking
Mm.
for specific things, I've made it through all of this without knowing some of these story twists, and it's amazing. Yeah, I would never want to wreck that for somebody. So please, if you're gonna stay, I hope you already know what we're talking about. Because it was seriously, when you go across Sea of Stars, it was absolutely unexpected, and I was happy for like 3 days. It was the best thing. Yeah.
Yeah, I think you summed it up pretty well for myself too. It was definitely a slow burn in the beginning. Not that it was unenjoyable or anything. It was definitely cool figuring out how one becomes a solstice warrior and their upbringing, and we got to experience Zale and Valer and Garl's bond when they were kids, which certainly plays out in the rest of
Yeah.
the game. But when we're set off on our own and we're questing as solstice warriors, it was kind of hard to really see what it was that we were driving for. Like, we know there's a big bad out there called the
Mm,
Fleshmancer, which is still the best name for a bad guy ever. But that's really it. We didn't really know. There was no like immediate stakes. There was no like impending doom or nothing like that. It's just, all right, go do that thing eventually if you want.
right.
But once it got going, holy crap. It immediately flipped the switch and it's like, oh, you've just been coasting through. Well, now you have stakes. Now you have a world ending threat. Now you
Yeah.
have all these things that you need to drive the narrative forward. So uh, I wouldn't use that as a way to discourage anyone from playing the game if they're looking for a rich narrative experience. It pays off in
Yeah.
dividends. But here's a question I was thinking of too while you were talking. Now, I feel like the story for what it is fairly simple. It's easy to follow. And I think personally, I was able to take away a lot of surface level stuff. However, there's a lot deeper of a narrative here if you really decide to get into it. I won't say who because I don't want to spoil anything, but there's a character we come across that actually knows our bad guy and they have a connection. And sometimes that connection can play into the narrative a little bit. And in my opinion, that kind of stuff was a little lost on me every once in a while. Like I couldn't quite tell where the writers were going with that side of the story, but I don't think it was needed either for me to enjoy the story either. So, what do you think? Was it hard for you to kind of follow along, or did you not really dive that deep or need to?
It's no, I love these people. I want these people to move into my house. So, right. Or even better, right? I'll just have whoever wrote this story. I think I just put them in. Well, every night it's a time story. Um, I think, yeah, like you're talking about, there's like this deeper stuff going on, and then there's stupid potted plants that you have to fight, and a trio of evil birds. Like some of it was kind of like, why are you here? But
Right.
again, you know that it's like, okay, but once I pass you, I'm gonna rescue this guy who's gonna come and save me later. And but I don't know because it's not just because the story's really well done. Um, yeah, I'm trying to think where I like fully committed when the story got me and I was like, oh yeah, this is it. We're in for a ride. It would have been pretty early. Um, maybe when the calamity happens to shoot
Was
the
the
port town of
Brisk? I think it was Brisk.
Reddit. Yeah. I think by then I definitely was like, okay, this is crazy. It's not just a cute little see, world. Like there was more to it than that, and I wanted to know why we're doing this, what was going on. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's a good spot for me. That's where I started to really start to get engaged. I certainly won't spoil it, but there's a moment that happens to one of our party that puts them in danger, and that was another one of those where I started being vested more so in the story, really because the characters. I could argue some of the characters in this game could probably have been written a little bit better or developed a little bit more,
Yeah,
but
probably.
but the ones that they did develop, they really got me, and I'm sure you as well, very vested in them. So when calamity befell this particular character in this particular story moment, it's just like, oh, there, this
Yeah.
is happening, and I care
Oh,
about this individual.
yes.
So
Gosh.
so yeah, overall, I think the story was good, and yes, and I will say one more time, if you are able to fully commit and complete this game 100% and get the true ending at the end, it is the perfect cherry on top of the entire experience. It's one of those like. I actually finished the game. I went out onto my porch and just stared up at the sky through the trees and had a good think. Like it was that good.
Like the limits. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, it was really good. So yeah, I think we agree. It was slow to start, but once it got going, it latched on pretty good. So all right, now that we've talked about all of that, I guess in just a few sentences, what are your final thoughts of Sea of Stars? If you had someone
Wow.
ask you like, what do you think about this game? Oh, I know what it is the elevator pitch, as it were. Elevator
Oh,
pitch. What are your final thoughts on Sea of Stars? And then we'll give it a 1 out of 10 rating.
my elevator pitch. That I don't know. I guess it's definitely one of those maybe looks are deceiving. It's not it's not cutesy. It's not well, because right, Pixel, um, this Pixel look came back with Shovel Knight, which is an adorable, really fun game. But it's
Hmm.
not a think, right? It's not like this super rich storyline where you're like, horribly invested in all these characters. This is like the opposite of that. And the way that things are crafted, the way that the characters are, and in the environments, along with your typical gameplay stuff with the battles and the heroes and everything else, it just kind of all is so cohesive and so obviously well thought out. This is not shovelware. I guess that'd be my first sentence,
There you go.
right? It's everybody nowadays, shovelware, shovelware. This is not. This game is absolutely worth full price. Don't wait till it goes on sale. Um, yeah, and it's kind of intimidating too that how heavy the story is. Um,
Hmm.
Definitely not. I don't know if my 10-year-old, he played for a little bit. I think he struggled with the battle system. It just
Okay.
wasn't something that he clicked with super fast. But yeah, they've really enjoyed hearing about the story. And so maybe someday they will not get me to replay it. They replay it and I'll just agree with that. Yeah.
Nice. Yeah, I think I share a lot of that myself too. If I were to elevator pitch this, my conclusion, this is one of the most accessible role playing games that I've ever played for someone that's slightly of age. I think it's a story that's worth investing your time in. I think there's a gameplay loop here that's not going to waste your time. And this game was made by people that have a passion for good video games. Period. Point blank. It is to a point too where, from a replayability standpoint, you can certainly go back and play the game differently. But really, in my opinion, and I think you feel the same way, once you play this game through all the way, it's final. It's done. And there's something just wonderful about playing through a game that you invest that much time in and you're just like done. You never have to question, oh, did I do the
Yeah.
thing or should I have done this? No, it's start to
Yeah.
finish. It's good. Like I'll never play this game again. And I mean that in the best way possible.
Right.
Hello.
It's like, I love you. Bye.
Exactly. So, all right. So, if you had to give this game a rating of 1 out of 10, or a rating out of 10, 10 being the best game you've ever played, one being I just wasted 6 or 3 4 months of my life.
Yeah.
Where's this falling
Yeah.
for
Frank,
you?
how many hours are you at now that
Uh,
you're like done?
no, done.
Done, done, done.
Give me a moment to figure that out. I actually have to back
I
out and go to the title screen
I
really
am
quick.
at just over 38 hours. I think it was like 38:17.
I
And
know I
I'm
crossed 40.
okay.
Let's see
That's
here.
and that's what people have been saying with that average. But again, I think because they structured it in a way that they want you to do all the stuff. So I love that time window seems so accurate. I mean, everybody will tell you about 40 hours.
Yeah.
Um, and that's fantastic. Again, it's not an open world game. Like you're playing for the story, which is why I played with that charm on that healed me after my fight because I don't want to have to go hunting for, cooking supplies. I want to know what's going to happen. All
Right.
right, out of 10, um, I mean, it's almost a 10. Like I've loved playing it. Every now and then it's like, oh, I have to play Sea of Stars, but it's really not that bad. Um,
Channel
yeah.
3, you have our permission to lurk
Yeah.
anytime you would like, my friends.
It's a lurk is such an ugly word. Lingo. Ooh.
Uh,
Um, it's almost a 10. I mean, it's as good a storyline as a Final Fantasy game. It's as engaging. It's as pleasant to look at. The music is stuff that gets stuck in my head. I mean, yeah, give her a 10. I'm such a softie, and I think every video game needs a 10. No, it's not true. But yeah, why not? I call it a 10.
all right, 10 it is. So I think I'm a little harsher just because I'm just cynical in my old age now. I feel like if I make fun of myself for turning 40, it'll just be better when my kids start making fun of me, but they've already
Or when they
started.
turn 40, oh my gosh.
I know. But I mirror everything that you say. I think it was a great experience. The only criticisms that I can level at this game really are, okay, the story takes a little while to get going. You and I have both had debates over the boss battles in this game. Most of them were pretty okay, but there were some that
Yeah.
were really well done.
So
I don't
good.
want to use that as a way to knock the game really, but that's something that I was kind of disappointed in. Like, oh, I just have to just beat the snot out of this without having to think of a strategy. Sometimes that'll happen, but that
Yeah.
wasn't the worst thing. And really, I think that's about it. Everything else I really thoroughly enjoyed. And I think if anything else, kind of like you, sometimes I felt like sitting down to play this game, it kind of felt like a chore. But I almost blame it on the fact, and this is not a bad thing because obviously we did this for a point, which was to sit together and talk about this. But
Yeah.
sometimes it's like it's coming up on Tuesday and
I
I've
know.
got other
Gotta get
obligations.
me.
Right. Sometimes I feel like I'm rushing to get it done. And I almost think because of that, I felt like I was like, crap, now I got to plow through this. Am I giving it a fair shake kind of thing? But
Oh,
taking that out of the equation, no, I enjoyed every time I sat down with this game and immersed myself in its world. I would give it a 9 just because I've got little gripes and I'm a jerk, but 9 out of 10 for me. Highly recommend. So, last question for you, and then just a heads up for everybody that's watching us live or checking us out in the future. Once we wrap up here, I am going to be playing the finale of the game live for those that want to partake in that revelry. So, beware spoilers from that point forward, but you're safe for now. So, my last question I wanted to pose to you, Lindsay, is what type of person or who would you recommend this game to? Whether they're a gamer or not, however you want to spin it, who do you think would be the perfect person to try and play this game?
hmm. So my first thought goes to the fact that you can play this just about everywhere. So it's not just a Nintendo game. I know for me, that's what I've been playing out. I've played it in handheld mode 100% of the time on my Switch Lite.
Yeah.
Um, but you can play it anywhere. PlayStation. I know it's on Steam. I'm guessing it's available on Xbox. Were there trophies? Oh, there are trophies on other platforms? No.
I
My goodness.
if this game wasn't so final by the end of it,
Yeah.
I would almost go back and replay it on the PlayStation just for the trophies.
Just to see
Almost.
what trophies. Oh, that's almost tempting. It's just to see like what trophies they throw in there.
Right.
Who would I? Um, I guess I'm gonna go right. Like if you're dating bell curve, I'm gonna say beginner RPGers and experienced RPGers. Right. If you're like in the thick of learning who you are, especially in a turn-based RPG, you maybe don't want to take the time with this. Maybe you don't want to take the time to really feel this story. There's a lot going on. And right, like once it gets happened, man, it really moves uphill. Like, holy cow, put your seatbelt on.
Oh yeah.
Um, so yeah, like especially like we are more nuanced turn-based game players. Fucking love this game. This game was absolutely made for me. Um, My older kids, maybe not. They're not huge turn-based players, though. Like this is definitely still a very genre happy. It definitely sits in its spot as a turn-based RPG. Um, yeah, which I mean, we're the perfect group of gamers to cater towards, aren't we? Since we're the ones with the money.
Yes.
Like you, but it is what it is.
Nice. Yeah, I agree with all of that. I would say, oh, actually, real quick before I get into my spiel, I wanted to give a few shout outs to the chat really quick. Vindictive comes back and says, "Hey, what's happening?"
Chained echoes.
Per-
Man.
personally, Personally,
Interesting.
Vindictive would give it an 8 overall, but some higher scores categorically, like graphics, music, maybe closer to 8.5. Some good story twists, but compared to others in the genre, let's see
Just
here.
picky.
The picky, the Chrono Triggers and FF6s of the world, even Chained Echoes, more recent, would land in the 9 out of 10 range. And speaking of Chained Echoes, Uriah, yeah,
Apparently, I need to get Chained Echoes. Dang.
I actually pulled it up on my other screen here just to see what it was. I've heard of it. I just
buying it.
I don't know. I don't know what you're talking about. But no, according to the interwebs, Chained Echoes is a story-driven JRPG where a group of heroes travel around the vast continent of Vallandis to bring an end to the war between its 3 kingdoms. Like, that's right up my alley.
There you go.
Available on Switch, PS5, PS4, Xbox One. Oh, and it says more in capital letters. Thanks, Wikipedia.
Where else are you gonna play? On my calculator?
I gotta see how long it's gonna take to beat Chained Echoes really quick.
Right.
34 hours for
Give us a 10 out of 10 now.
the
Channel 3 is asking. Bruh, you have
what's a 10 out of 10? I don't know.
10 out of 10.
I don't know if I
okay.
Oh, I see what you mean. Okay, that makes sense.
Softy. There you go.
So Chained Echoes takes about 34 hours to complete the main story, 55 hours if you complete it end to end. So it's about Sea of Stars level right there.
This is completing. Are we? I'm not a complete completer. It's not who I am typically. My weapons feel so weird.
I struggle with it. Like, it's one of those things where I look in the mirror sometimes and I'm like, you will not complete this game. You will finish it when it's so but if I were to recommend Sea of Stars to anybody, I'll keep it brief. Kind of like you said, I would certainly recommend it to the RPG veteran and the RPG curious. It's very accessible to both those archetypes, as it were, but also anyone that's in for a good story, just because the game does force you, I would say force, but it does encourage you to stick with the narrative and go about it that way. And yeah, if you're looking for a game that you can tailor your experience to because of the multitude of accessibility options, you're not forced to play it hard. You're not really forced to play it easy. I mean, the game certainly is a challenge, but you've got some ability to tweak the experience the way you want it. And again, my God, once it's done, just go smoke a pack of cigarettes or something. Like, it's perfect. So, all right. Any final thoughts on Sea of Stars sans spoilers before we get into the second half of the show? Or think we covered everything? I think.
Yeah.
I mean, there's so much.
I know. My gosh.
All right, boys and girls, here's your spoiler warning. So now that we've given our initial thoughts on Sea of Stars and we're happy and we rated it and we're pouring one out for the spoilers. Thank you, Channel 3. I am going to take a moment to readjust my screens, and I'm going to play through the final battle of the original ending to the game, so we can all experience and talk about it together. So if you don't want to see that, get out of here. Go on, get. If you're okay with that, or you don't mind the spoilers, or you've seen it before, certainly stick around and hang out with us. So let me put this cool little ticker at the bottom. This is the end. Spoilers, obviously. Your continued participation in this stream is at your own risk. Yeah, I should write lawyer stuff. All right. So
no.
All right, bear with me just to get myself situated here. So I think I tweaked the audio level to the game in a good way, so you can kind of hear it, but it's not going to overblast us. Those of you in the chat, if the audio is either too low, too high, or whatever, don't be afraid to let us know. I'll adjust. All right, bear with me here. So let's turn this on. Yeah, now I got the cool music in my headphones. You can't hear it yet, but I'm getting it there. All right, click.
Do an interpretive dance.
Interpretive dance. There we go. All right. And then I'm going to reposition my face. So I'm actually looking at my little high-end $40 19-inch flat screen television while I play the game. All right. Back on. Bam. There we go. Yeah. All right. Now let's present. Here's screen. Entire screen with audio. Up we go. Boom. Got it. All right. Let's move you there. Perfect. All right. Let's get into this puppy. So to summarize, those that worked with us the last time, we are at the end. We lost our friend. Garl made the ultimate sacrifice to allow us to travel the Sea of Stars, which allowed us to venture into Sarai's homeworld. We saved her homeworld by unblocking the sun. We raised the moon from the bottom of the ocean, and we used our powers to defeat the Dweller of Dread and free the world from the cycle of evil and hate, as it were. So now, 1, 2, skip a few, 99. Now we're in the Fleshmancer's lair, and through his lair, which is still one of the more aesthetically awesome areas in the game, we surpassed countless monsters and puzzles, and now we are at the end. To a point where all his little acolytes here are just kind of like, oh yeah, you're gonna meet the great leader. I envy you. That's cool. Go ahead, do the thing. So he is expecting us. So let's shan't keep him waiting. All right. This is your... Oh, I forgot about this. So you got to climb a crap ton of stairs for some reason. I won't spoil this for Final Fantasy VII Remake specifically, but when you're in the Shinra building and you have the option to take the stairs, take the stairs. It's so good.
Do you get a trophy?
I don't know if you get a trophy, but you get some awesome memories, and you can't put a price on that. All right, we're getting there. Like, I gotta hand it to these three and their physical prowess, because I would be unconscious at this point in real life. Okay, take a breath. Whew, that made me tired. All right, let's move on. I'm gonna screenshot this really quick. Oh, that's the perfect wallpaper material. You made it. Well, duh. Congratulations, you have been quite the nuisance. Prepare yourself.
Oh, wow.
Prepare myself. This is kind of like work when someone asks me to do something outside my job description. Anyway, I digress. My foolish child, fighting solstice warriors is beneath me.
Wow. ...
Thinking internally. I know, he's kind of a jerk. But you did make it all the way here, so I will play by the rules. The time has come to decide on the fate of your realm and all of its worlds. Can you defeat my strongest lieutenant? See, he's getting someone else. Yeah, can you guess who this is going to be?
Yes.
Or will she reign supreme over the cyborgs? Never! Your evil has no place here anymore. I don't know if that's how Beast sounds, but we're going to go with that. My, haven't we grown boastful? Let the matter be settled then. I call upon you, my champion. Destroy these interlopers and claim your rightful place as ruler of this world. Come, Alessander.
Punishing her with that horrible name.
Alessander. Erlena. I know her name's Erlena.
Yeah, Erlena. Apple smoke, never good. Oh, yes. Quality animated cutscene. Thank you very much.
Yep, that's definitely her. Erlena, our former mentor.
She looks happy. This has been a good career change for her.
Yeah. We're not happy to see each other. What have you become? Who dares challenge my reign? Don't you recognize us? I recognize Solstice Warrior vermin. Vermin which must be eradicated. She is completely gone. Silence! You will bow before me! All capital letters with 3 exclamation points.
That's yelling.
Brace yourselves! And off we go. All right. So here's where kind of what you were struggling with just in the last battle that you had. Breaking the locks here, those symbols above her, are going to be mildly instrumental to our success. All right. So let's start breaking the locks with some. Let's see if I do better bouncing this on this stream than I did last stream.
I still, right? 38 hours. I'm still not very good at. Oh, yeah. I'm
There we
still
go.
not that good.
And this is a fight I noticed too, where you definitely, like you'd mentioned before, sometimes you get into this funk where you don't really want to swap your characters out, but yeah, you almost have to here. You have to be okay with bringing in characters that you don't particularly use just to break those locks.
No, this one has a time bonus on it. Did you know that? When he's gonna bounce.
Oh, yes.
You hit the button when he's bouncing. I like accidentally figured that. Baby.
Nice. Yeah, then sometimes they throw locks out that I can't break or don't have a combo to break. That's fun. Just
smash them together.
Right.
Like G.I. Joes.
Which I may or may not have done plenty of times while I was a kid.
Right? Definitely. Oh my.
Yeah, she's got like some interesting attacks in that sense. In the air. All right, let's see here. All right, let's just triple boost and put a sunball right in between her eyes. God, I love this move.
I know.
Like 270 is decent enough damage. And anytime she's not casting a spell, I'm always making it a point to put out little orbs so I can power boost when she does want to cast. Oop, didn't block that one. Okay, so yeah, like this, two blunts and a purple, as it were.
Beast. You gotta haul in the beast.
Yep, bring him in. All right, so we've got this one. I don't know if it's going to be enough to break all 3 locks, but maybe boosting will help. All right. 2, 3. Nice. Okay, I timed it, but I didn't break all the locks, but that's all right. The nice thing is even if you only break a couple of them, she'll have reduced power. That didn't hurt very much. Okay, now we're with 2 poison, if you will, and another... Come on, lady, you're not giving me a chance to do much here.
No.
So let's delay that.
Turns are getting less and less, right?
Yeah, I found myself using Sarai's Disorient, I think that's what it was called, ability pretty often. Just to push her time back.
That's what it's called.
He's poisoned. Does he have one that does both? Sometimes it's funny. Have you ever found yourself cycling through movesets just to see if you have like the right combination of lock symbols? It's like looking through a deck of cards. Like, oh, I need the fish or whatever.
Well, and especially so doing the arena battles. Oh my gosh, that was so much fun. Absolutely unnecessary. There's nothing for the game. Stupidly fun. And it was just hard enough. It was hard. My gosh.
Oh, I timed that all wrong.
But yeah, I definitely would be like, oh my gosh, do I even have a combo that does blah blah blah? Like, is you like cycle through everybody and put people in and out, and yeah.
There we go. Okay, I've got an ultimate ability saved up. I still keep going back to Rashawn's Eagle as probably the best ultimate ability in the entire game, I feel like.
Well, with the full heal, like, you can't go wrong. Although you're not doing too bad.
Yeah, we're doing okay. Swap Where you at, Zale? Break that lock. All right, now we're okay. We got 3 boosts. Yeah, we're doing okay. You know what? I'm gonna let Zale have his turn. I don't think I need to do Rashawn's ultimate right now.
Play it. Play it. You can find this game. I know they still have copies, even at my local Walmart, right, which is slowly like scaling down physical copies. Grab a copy. It was one that I grabbed a copy just because I am 8-bit, right? And they have the most gorgeous packaging and stuff that came with it. It's totally worth the journey, worth the time investment. So your animation is changing too. That's something that they didn't do with every boss. As you progress, like those little nuanced changes are fantastic.
They really
I
are.
need that kind of stuff. Oh, thank God. It's almost there. Yeah.
Yeah. Let me. Yeah, we're okay. She's actually the. Oh, did I just nail her? Okay. Sorry. Let me get into character here. No. I need more power. I need more. That's like my
8 O's. Dang. Bye. Oh, are we transforming?
Heck yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Can't have a final battle without a transformation. That's just very un-RPG like. Now it gets good.
Oh, she's gorgeous.
I know. Again, just revel in this animation. Like, come on.
Right? What are you guys doing? You don't have to go this far. It's okay. That's really not. This is amazing. Ooh.
Okay, so that attack becomes a hit-all attack, as it were. All right, let's think here. I'm going to forget healing for a second just to break the locks. Perfect. Okay, now we're going to heal up. Oh, I can't. I don't have the 1 combo meter yet, but we got plenty of food hanging out in the pouch. Where's my... Predator covers? Okay, I did not make the cool food that I wanted to. And and the legendary feast is actually a pretty awesome food, but we'll save that. Let's just heal up a little. And the battle music here too is pretty jammin'. Oh my god. Pretty jammin'. What am I, 5? Never mind.
It slaps. Is that what we're supposed to say?
That's it. Yeah, slaps.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, she's something else. All right, let's see. What do we got here? Let's disorient you for a bit. Let's give us a little breathing room.
Zeal does his moxie, right? Lots of fun vocab words.
All right, a little bit of moon ring,
Good.
which I totally just messed that up.
Right.
Oh my god.
That's me like every time. I'll be like, no, I just need twice. Need a lot. No, you get one. I'm horrible at the moon ring.
Oop, I didn't want you to be sorry, buddy. Get out of here. Oh, wait, where's Rashawn? There's Rashawn. A little heal up in here. There we go. Nice, revitalized, and refreshed, even though I'm going to have to take a full-on life leech attack. That's your trade-off. Decide what's worth the time. Alright, Sarai. Yeah, her attacks are just non-stop, and if you don't use Sarai in any capacity that way, she is all about just staying on top of you.
There are multiple boss battles in this where their attacks speed up. And then it's like all of a sudden you're like, oh my god, I don't even get any turns. What's going on? Right, then you just boot them. Just boot them to the face.
All right, now let's heal the way I wanted to earlier.
There you go. See, and then you take the time to heal. That magic fills your mega meter, whatever it is, your Ultima. It's great. The way the game structures that to encourage you. Yes, I know you have all these things saved up. Use it. Don't just sit on all your points and let all your little orbs lay around. Use them.
Exactly.
Which is that's a hard habit to break. Like I absolutely would go through fights and there'd just be the magic orbs sitting around and I'd never use them. But you kind of get into a rhythm too, right? Where you create them and then it's like, okay, I'm going to use 2, I'm going to use 1.
Right, and then or then you feel compelled to save them because it's like, no, I'll need them for this attack coming up or whatever. I think I'm just going to take this attack on the chin. I'm not going to have anything to break these locks with. Oh, this is a fun attack. So she encases you in crystal, and you have 1 turn to break it, or else she breaks it on you for massive damage.
Excellent.
Yes.
1 turn.
And
You're
I have
to do, Venom Flurry, so right.
Well, I don't have enough magic for that, so Zale's going to take a big punch to the face now. Sorry, buddy.
Sorry, guy. Yeah. Oh, she snaps.
Yeah. She's all right. Almost up. I want to get my combo meter up 1 more turn, or 1 more level, and then I'll boost with Zale and use a combo maybe.
Boop, boop. See, that's nasty. That she can direct the 3 hits?
Yes.
Man.
I don't have it yet. And he doesn't.
See, that's unfair. That meter is full. Like, come on.
There we go.
I have said that too many times. Come on. Give me my 2nd level. Although getting all the way to combo grade is one of my favorite things. Nice.
Decent.
Yeah, especially for a 2nd level combo.
Yeah, I should save up for that flame tornado, but I'm impatient.
It's fun. Sorry, girlfriend.
That's all right. I'm gonna swap out Sarai for Rashawn and have him use his ultimate. That'll
there you go.
That'll get us all square.
Oh, sorry, everybody. This is actually really interesting.
Yeah, but we're a bunch of old adults that have kids.
I know. It's dark out. What are we doing? This is still my favorite. It's so gorgeous. Again, totally unnecessary.
But perfect. All right, now we're refreshed. This is what you get for betraying everything you believe in, Erlina. You know what, really, though? The one thing I think I have a complaint about when it comes to the story is if Erlina and Brewgrass didn't want to be Solstice Warriors, they could have just left. And that's it. They didn't have to make a deal with the devil.
But they didn't feel like they could, right? Because of that huge... where they all went out and they got all...
Oh, slaughtered, right? Everybody...
Right. Because that's kind of the feeling, you know. I almost wish we had a little bit more of that backstory. That there used to be like, like, do they live for an exceptionally long time? And so they kind of like accumulate after a while?
Oh. Bam. There we go. Ah, with 19 A's.
Oh, dang.
My power. Master, you promised. I promised opportunity, nothing more.
Oops. Gotta read the fine print, girl.
And he just says you're done.
Yeah, he's like across the floor. Still here. Oh.
Oh, hey, real Rashawn.
There's eyeballs.
I know.
Yeah, every
They've
time he comes
won.
up in a
It's
fight,
time
click
to
with me.
leave. Oh, come on. I want to be there when they see the final surprise. What are you on about?
Nobody talks like that, Sarai.
Psh, ask your new guardian gods. Can you feel it? It's coming from so far away. A world eater. You are the only ones who can destroy it. Godspeed, Solon and Luana.
Wow.
All right, bye, Rashawn. Nice to see you after all that time.
Oh my gosh, after you already have your stupid ultimate weapon under your hat, how upset was I? Very upset.
Oh, I'll never forget that. Hope, it's been so long. Zale, Valaire. We must go now, Sarai. The World Eater has to be stopped. Will you return? Maybe.
That's
We can feel everything now. There's just so much for us to do.
wow.
So many worlds, I had no idea. This is goodbye then?
Oh.
I guess so, Beast. Wait!
Thanks, you're the best.
Huff puff wheeze. Before you go, could I just... Right. Like I know exactly what they need. Here, take my sash. Take down our stories. It's kind of touching when you think about it. It's been great knowing you. I'll make sure future generations know your story and remember you always.
Wow.
It's been great knowing you as well, Teeks. Like, Valaire and Zale all of a sudden just grew the hell up in the last 5 minutes. Like, it's really cool.
Dang. Just because they didn't even beat the bad guy. They beat his minion, his last minion.
Yeah, it's exactly like who I already forgot who it was, but earlier in the chat someone said this ending's kind of like it kind of feels like there should be something more going on here, doesn't it?
Yeah.
We'll do our best in your memory. It's time to go, Valaire. ... And so our watch begins. Here's hoping it won't be too boring. That'd be a first.
Exciting. My gosh.
Right. Well, actually, at this point, I actually thought like this was the end. We're at the end, but there's one more part of this ending that I thought was really, really cool that I did not expect. Fighting by your side has been my life's honor. Farewell.
You're not alive. You're a spirit in a jar.
All right. So about that World Eater. Music here is awesome too. So it's like, all right, credits are gonna roll. This is gonna be sweet.
Oh.
And here comes the World Eater. Look at this thing.
Yeah.
It's got a mouth. It's awesome.
Wow.
And then the game's like, hey, you've played a shoot 'em up before, right?
Oh my gosh.
Right? So you're controlling just one of the two, but holding down your A button gets them to shoot, and you're just chipping away at the World Eater, just doing a thing.
Well, good thing you are apparently a decent bullet hell guy here, Frank.
Decent. I will say decent. Yeah, let's do it. I'll say I learned all my bullet hell skill from Galaga, one of the best old school games ever.
It's
Oh,
pixels.
I say
It's
that and I get
coming.
smacked in the face.
Yeah. Oh, so you have just like this kind of general health bar. Wow.
Yeah, and then we charged our super beam down in the right-hand corner. Bam! Does some decent damage. It would actually kind of suck to die here. Like, that would just be so embarrassing after everything you've gone
Gosh,
through.
it would. Oh, but that's what's fun. You're like, we're gonna win. You're not dating yourself there, are you, Uriah? Yeah, that would be really disappointing.
Oh, I forgot a move you can do. You press the Y button, you can dive underneath. Whoops.
Oh.
Not that I use that much, but alright, whatever. Yes!
Almost. Get out of the way.
Bam.
There we go.
I thought, just out of the
One.
blue, that was the coolest thing. Just, hey, do this shooter buff segment.
That's crazy.
And then it goes into the end credits. But, just like any Marvel movie, there's after scenes. Alright, so let's... Oh, and I will say, I mentioned this to you on Discord. There was that controversy surrounding Jared Galil. Is that his name? Khalil? Whatever. The completionist. YouTuber that got caught up in the charity scandal or whatever. He was in this game. They put him in this game as one of the characters, but they took him out after the allegations were flying around.
Right.
But they left his name in the credits somewhere. I happened to notice. So I thought that was interesting. I mean, still good on him. It kind of sucks what happened, but I'm sure he put work into this and helped these people. So I guess
that would be so hard to be like, dude, why did you tarnish this for us? Like, oh yeah,
right. There's the old crone. Just And then it goes on as we go through the credits to thank all the backers that backed this game. If you think the crypt was huge that had all the backers on the tombstones and stuff, the credits are redonkulous.
Aw.
Hey, little kids. You guys are so swell.
Yay!
Hooray! Come on, Grandpa. Come play hide and seek with us.
Chase us!
It's actually to a point, and you'll see it in a minute. Once we get to the list of backers, I'm able to not just accelerate the credits with super speed, I have ultra super speed.
Ultra? Oh my.
Well, I don't know what she was trying to do there, but she didn't do it, and now she's mad, and that's what she gets for being a pain in our butts the entire game.
Right?
There we go, ultra speed.
Ultra speed. That's what you get. Early game mini boss. This is fun.
And then Beast goes to the Elder Mist. I don't know if you saw it anywhere. I think it was after.
Yeah. Like the Mega Man. I love it.
Yeah. I remember somewhere in the story, the Elder Mist told Beast to come see him after it's all over. So it's curious to see. Well, we'll never see it, but it's curious to think what happens to Beast after this.
Remember, there's DLC coming.
That's true.
We might find out.
We might indeed.
So, and that's part of what I'm helping myself get over the fact that this isn't really. There's more coming out next year. I can't wait to have an excuse to have a break, but then to potentially pick it up again.
Yeah, I'm definitely getting the DLC when it launches because for some reason these guys decided to make it free. I would pay money for DLC for this game.
What the heck? Yes, if it's anything like the game itself. For ultra speed.
Oh my god, it's so fast. Like it was just happenstance that I happened to find Gerard's name in this. It was the one time I didn't have my finger on the trigger. Yeah, girl. We miss you, buddy. And I love credits that just thank me, the player. Thanks. Goodbye.
Like, okay, leave.
So I got one more scene to watch. We find ourselves back at the town of Mirth. And so we gather each year as they fly by our world on their never-ending watch, and together we remember their story. Hi, Sage.
I was not anticipating that.
Ooh, it's Teeks.
Oh, it's Teeks, care.
Is it true they always fly in on the warrior cook's birthday? God, I make a terrible noise or kid voice. No one knows for sure. Sounds rather poetic, though, doesn't it? Now, run along, everyone. I must check in on the crypt's renovations. Thank you for the story, High Sage. We're gonna go do chores now.
Oh my God, you're sweet.
That's what my kids would say because they're well behaved, right? Yeah, one of them's probably watching.
What did you say, Dad? Jeez.
The ancient Backer's Crypt.
So cool.
How's the progress?
Beep, boop.
Pretty good.
Party.
I've been thinking about Yumara's notes, about the flood. No worries, I'll make the big window extra thick. Well, do you like the central piece? Yes, it's perfect. The end? Question mark?
Question mark.
So that is it. That's the end of Sea of Stars, the standard ending, we'll call it. Now from here, if it will let me, it will allow you to save your game, and it will pick you up right at that final save point where I started this off at, and you can go right into... Oh, shoot, I'm jumping ahead. Something happens in the moorlands.
This is so cool.
A mysterious device has appeared in the moorlands. Now, of all the extra tasks that you have to do in this game, side quests, conch shells and stuff, when you complete them, one of those pillars each will light up. And I did all that stuff ahead of time, so that's why all my stuff's on fire already. You can now save and return right before the final boss fight to complete side content. The mysterious device might also be worth investigating.
Oh.
So you can see down here, this is where I saved the last time.
You saved. Nice.
Yeah, you get a superstar. It's awesome. So
you are superstar. My gosh.
But that's Sea of Stars, my friends. I'm gonna stop the screen. I'm gonna stop the music so I don't have to hear it in my ear holes anymore. There we go. And I'm gonna resituate my camera. Bam. So what'd you think? What'd you think there?
It definitely doesn't come off as going to be the hardest battle of the game, which I don't know how I feel about that necessarily, but since the game is designed, right, they expect you to do everything. That's why they made it. That's how they made it. So they know you're going to go do those hardest battles, which, Elder Mist, man, don't... I just was like, fine, I'm gonna sit here and play this, and it's gonna take as long as it's gonna take. It's fine. And it did. Took forever.
And honestly, like I was saying before, it's worth it. Now that you've seen this ending, and I'm sure you kind of felt it too. It's like, hey, there's more here. I want to see how this really ends. Like I said before at the top of the show, of all the games that I went back and did everything for just to see the final ending, this one was by far the most fulfilling. So it's going to be worth all the time you're going to spend in it. It's going to be worth finding all those damn rainbow seashells. It's going to be worth it, because I guarantee you, when you're finally seeing it and you're basking in all your efforts, you're just going to feel so good about yourself and about this game.
Like, that's the thing too, the way that they have it set up so that it's like, okay, that's done, but
yeah.
And then you are actively choosing, and then to have that carrot waiting at the end is going to be such a dopamine hit. I'm ready. Let's go. I don't have other stuff going on coming up this weekend, so just play a video game to the finish. Yeah.
There you go. Yeah, I happened to get lucky the weekend before last, where I had a pocket of time and I just zeroed the heck in. I'm like, this is just happening right now.
Yeah.
Kids need attention. They can get their own food. It's fine. They're teenagers. Or
Pat him on the head. You'll be fine.
You're fine. Daddy's got to save the world.
I was trying to think of how many hours. It's probably been 6 or 8 hours in the last 2 days, just running around and finding this, and then I want to go here, and I'm probably not like super good at like, oh, I'm in the normal world, so I'm gonna do all the normal world stuff. Well, it's actually not how I come and go, and then you have to deal with all the animations and stuff. So I'm definitely not like doing a good job with my time management, but yeah, I can't believe how awesome that time predictor is. If more games were like that, I would be so much more willing to try other things. Because it's only gonna be 30 hours. I could probably, obviously I can do that because I'm at 38. So that's wild. Yeah.
Yeah, I actually, not really a plug per se. This show is not sponsored by the next thing I'm about to bring up, but howlongtobeat.com. I actually, when I was on my vacation a couple months back, there was a day like we literally had nothing going on. I had finished Chasm, an awesome little indie Metroidvania game, and I didn't have anything to do, so I actually went into howlongtobeat.com. I uploaded as many games as that I could think of that I wanted to play, and even ones that I had already played. Like, I went through like my old trophy lists and Xbox achievement lists. I just put it all in there.
Okay.
So now I've got a backlog that I can easily look at and go, this is going to take me 8 hours. This is going to take me 200 hours or whatever. And I can kind of plan around what I can start to fit in. And it's great for my podcast too, because I could use it for retro games and decide whether I want to spend 11 hours finishing Zelda 2 or do I want to...
Yes, you do.
Fucking Zelda 2. Anyway, but yeah, it's awesome. So, all right, Lindsay, I think we're done. I think that's it. Anything else before we gracefully sign ourselves out of here?
Right, at least until there's DLC next year.
Exactly.
No, I think after I kind of got myself over I'm not gonna do the true ending. Like, I kind of was gonna just be good with it, and then the more you read about it, the more you find out about what the developers did with it. And yeah, I have to. Plus, the game deserves it, which sounds weird, but it absolutely deserves a little bit more of my time, right? To go and chase down all the stupid shells. That seriously has to be the last thing that I need to do.
It was my last thing, and you'll actually, when you're going through the list and trying to find these shells, there's some of them you're going to find, you're like, what? It was right there the whole time?
Yes, I've already done that. Yep, the one you have to swim under the dock. Who's doing this? No one is finding that just naturally as they're walking around. No one did. No.
Yeah, and if there just so happens to be, good on you. You've got an awesome reward for your mindless meandering.
Go find 59 more. Yeah.
Nice. All right, I think it's time to wrap it up. So this has been the final installments of our journey through Sea of Stars. Real quick,
Have us.
I know we did it. It all started with, hey, we should play this game and
Do
use
it.
this as a forum to keep ourselves accountable, and it worked. I don't know if I'd have finished it
It.
otherwise.
I know. Yeah.
So before we go, just if for some reason you're still here, or you're checking us out in the future, and you happen to like either of us, be it the sounds of our voices, the looks on our faces, or our awesome commentary, we're doing other stuff out there in the world of social media and what has you. So I always go first. Lindsay, you have a thing called LLCoolGames. You want to tell people what that's about?
LLCoolGames. So I am on Facebook, LLCoolGames. I'm on YouTube, Lindsay LLCoolGames. I'm also on the Insta at Lindsay LLCoolGames. And right now it's fall. So it is con season in the great state of Ohio. Womp womp. And so I'm going to be on a panel this weekend at Cleveland. Um, it it's just so exciting to get to finally like see these dates on the calendar get closer and closer. And get to actually do some things other than fight with YouTube for 3 freaking days to get views. What? Yeah.
Yeah, Cleveland Gaming Classic's going to be fun. I'm looking forward to seeing you and everybody else up on the panels. I love those. Like, I love sitting in the audience. Like, someone's like, anyone got any questions? I'm trying to think of the most obscure stuff to ask. I do have a question. Yeah, it'll be fantastic. Mysticles is going to be there as well. Heck yeah, buddy.
Of course he is.
Heck yeah. So it's going to be
There's so
awesome.
many of us that are firsties too. Sadly, Nomad is an experienced Cleveland Gaming Classic.
It's okay. We're gonna gain the experience, just like a good old fashioned RPG grind fest. We'll level up one of these days. Vindictive, excellent work by both of you. Looking forward to whatever you do next. Thanks for sharing your Sea of Stars journey with us. Thank you for being here while we do it. Yeah, we're gonna have to discuss that too and figure out what is next. But we'll certainly once the next thing's lined up or whatever we do, either together or individually, check us out on socials. I'm also on the Facebooks. I'm also on Instagram and Twitter/X, and I thought Threads was cool. And I'm also on Blue Sky. Who's heard of that? But I'm there. It's what I took the shotgun approach, so I'm all over social media. So certainly subscribe to either of us or both of us. Our next endeavor, we're going to certainly advertise so everyone can be made aware, and if they want to join us, awesome. My other project, my main project, while I'm on YouTube, I do have a couple video game reviews up here and there that I'm more experimenting. I've got a couple things up, so check them out if you want to hear about some obscure game reviews. I'm on YouTube. The Retro Wildlands is my gig, but my bigger thing is I have a podcast also called The Retro Wildlands, where I'm playing old retro games for the first time as an adult, and I'm giving my old man opinion on them, but I'm integrating music and sound effects from the game. So it's like you and I, you right there, the listener, you and I are going through the game together. Exactly. So check me out there. I'm on all the major pod platforms that I could find myself on: Spotify, iTunes, all of that. I'll give you all a sneak peek. I am in the middle of I'm in the middle of editing my latest question and answer episode, where I celebrated the podcast being 2 years old. So I'm almost done with that. And then the next game that I'm going to be playing for the podcast, just in time for spooky season, is Super Ghouls and Ghosts for the Super Nintendo.
Fun. No, is it fun?
So all I'll say about it right now is I spent a half hour of my life trying to beat the first level.
Yeah.
So,
bro,
what
did you do?
It's been a journey, but honest to God, I'm having fun with it. And anytime I die, I don't really get mad. I just get like disappointed in myself, and then I just want to keep going.
Yeah, that's the point.
Yep. So Super Ghouls and Ghosts is on the way for the podcast. So check out the Retro Wildlands wherever you get your podcasts. All right, Lindsay, that's it. Anything else before we shut her down?
Jade? What? Mystically then.
Ooh, Jade Cocoon. Hold up. Now we gotta.
He just made that up. Like,
No, we'll let the power of the internet tell us what the heck that's all about.
Yeah.
Let's see here. Jade Cocoon.
Interesting.
We're learning all sorts of games this time. Well,
Give me
what was
something
it?
more.
Chain of Echoes, was it?
Chained
Echoes.
past tense.
There we go.
Chained Echoes.
Here we go. Jade Cocoon, Story of the Tamamaru, if I even pronounced that correctly. It's a role-playing video game developed by Genki for the PlayStation. Combines elements of role-playing video games and virtual pet management. Ho-ho!
I was like, yeah.
And there's an endorsement from Sir and Lady Flaw Gaming, so apparently we need to put this on our radar.
That's hilarious.
Jade Cocoon.
What even? Seriously.
I don't know. You had me at pet management, so
I know pet management. A Tamagotchi game on PS1? Yes, please.
I let my first Tamagotchi die when I was younger. I've got trauma from that, but we'll get over it.
I had a teacher reset one once. Isn't that dark?
A little bit.
With it in class. You're like, you can? I click the reset button. Oh my God, in front of class. That's dark.
It's harsh.
Obviously,
it's very harsh. I would certainly not envy that. My God.
No.
My one more and then we'll get out of here. My daughter brought me she got a Tamagotchi at one point and she thought it was the coolest thing. But then she brought it to me because she let it die. Not on purpose. She wasn't paying attention. She brought it to me and she's like, "Can you fix him?" And I did that. I did the hard reset and she was like, "No, you're gonna kill him." And I'm like, "He's already dead." It's
that's on you, sister. You
thing.
already did it.
All right. So we are out of here. Thank you all for hanging out with us that were with us live. Mystically, Cern Flaw Gaming, Vindictive was here. Uriah was here. 4on6 was here. Channel 3 was here. I think I got everybody. Thank you all for hanging out with us. Thank you if you're watching this later in life, whether it's tomorrow or the year 2050 or what have you. Appreciate you hanging out with us. Subscribe to us on socials. We'll be back in some capacity, but until then, it's been fun. We'll see you in the next one.